I consistently make over $10,000 per month as an options trader. Some months I'm making $25,000, others I'm only making 11K. But at the end of the day, I personally only work for an hour each day. So options trading has given me an insane amount of freedom with my time. So in this video, I'm just going to break down everything that you need to know to get to the exact same point that I'm at with my trading. This video is going to cut straight to the point. So the first thing that we need to have is a good brokerage. Now, these are the personal best recommendations that I have. Number one is going to be Webull, and number two is going to be Thinkorswim. These two platforms are really, really good for options trading, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to execution speed. So the thing is with Webull is that you have no commissions. So you are able to take trades really quickly, and you are able to take trades for free. Now, with Thinkorswim, you're going to pay a small amount of commission for every single contract that you trade. What that means, though, when you are paying for these contracts to trade, it means that you're getting faster executions and better fills than most of these other platforms like Robinhood or Moomoo. There's a ton of applications that have zero commissions, but the best one in terms of zero commissions and getting the fastest fills is, in my opinion, Webull. So if you are trading and you have a smaller account, you don't feel like paying that commission, let's say you're trading with a $10,000 account and not, a $100,000 account, and you don't really feel like paying for those commissions, Webull can definitely be a very, very good option for you. Now, these two brokerages are US based brokerages as far as I know. So if you are not from the United States, this is the number one broker that I would recommend, Interactive Brokers. It's still going to let you trade options. This is not really as nice looking of a platform as, Webull or Thinkorswim is, but let me tell you right now, this platform is amazing. Execution speed is great. Support is actually decent, right? Compared to Webull, or God forbid you trade Robinhood, they have the worst support of all time. Interactive Brokers is definitely a really, really good choice for you. So get off of the scammy brokerages that you found online. Go with one of these three. It's probably going to be your absolute best friend. So Webull, Thinkorswim, or Interactive Brokers. Those three are going to be absolutely key. I also have TradingView open on my second monitor at the same time. You can split half and half. You don't have to trade with two monitors. But for me, obviously, I have two monitors, so I'm doing it this way. I always have TradingView open to chart. In my personal experience, the charting on Webull is absolutely horrible. If you're trading with Thinkorswim, you have much better charting capabilities, but obviously the platform is not as user-friendly and you have those commissions. So for me, I love TradingView. It is absolutely amazing in terms of charting. I always have this open whenever I am looking for positions to take on Webull with options. So I highly recommend to download TradingView if you haven't already, because it is absolutely key to having a better understanding of the charts rather than just looking at a Robinhood chart or looking at a Webull chart. Right, so we briefly covered the brokerages and platforms that you need to have, but now we need to know exactly what to trade. So a lot of people that I have taught get caught up in the idea that you have to trade a bunch of different stocks. One day you're trading AMD, the next you're trading Nvidia, the next you're trading Best Buy or Apple. You're just trying to trade as many stocks as humanly possible because it's kind of that fresh understanding in your brain that I have to just take as many trades, as many stocks as possible. Well, what you should be doing is you should create a basket of 4 to 5 stocks that you're watching daily, right? I don't have that many stocks, and I'll show you in a second what I actually trade every day. But you can't just switch from stock to stock, right? You have to understand in depth the stock that you are trading and how it moves. And so these are my top tickers: QQQ, SPY, Tesla, and AMD. What I personally recommend is that you should be trading stocks with high volatility, but also stocks with high volume actually moving throughout the day. A lot of people try to stick to those mid-cap stocks, maybe the $20 to $50 stocks. And what I will notice is with those stocks, you're going to start to see really slow movement. So for example, let's pull up Walmart. If we look at Walmart, we're going to see much slower, much choppier, and much less decisive movement than something like QQQ. If we pull up QQQ, you see that we have bigger moves and bigger swings daily. Whereas Walmart, we're kind of just seeing this sideways move the entire time, right? And take a look at this volume. You can see this volume up here at the top. We're having very, very small volume candles, as opposed to QQQ, where we have maybe 5, 10, 15 times the amount of volume. So the fact that we have that much volume is what's helping us create momentum-based trades. So these are the top tickers that I've traded for the last 5 years. And really, this did make a huge difference for me in my trading. When I stopped trading a bunch of different stocks, I went to just these 4 and has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. So just for example, showing you my monthly recap with my mentorship students here, I trade live with them every single day and they get to watch my positions and watch everything I do. If you pay attention here, look at these stocks that I'm trading. QQQ, 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 SPY, right? So I'm trading the exact same stocks every single day. Some days there's going to be a Tesla in here. Some days there's going to be an AMD in there. But for the most part, I trade these two stocks, QQQ and SPY. The reason why I only have 4 losses on this month is because I'm able to know exactly how these stocks move like the back of my hand. And if you don't know that, if you're just trying to like throw darts at a board and try to see if it lands on a bullseye, it's not going to make any sense. You have to know exactly how these stocks move day in and day out. And later in this video, I'm going to show you the whole strategy that I've used to get to this point. So you're going to see not only, what stocks I trade, but you're going to know exactly how to trade them. So get yourself locked in on these tickers and don't try and overcomplicate trading. So before I show you the trading strategy that I use every single day, one thing that you need to understand, and that has taken me from literally negative $30,000 as a trader to making over $10,000 a month, is that you need trading rules, specifically these rules right here. These are the ones that I've used for, God, the longest time. I don't remember the last time I've actually touched my rules. It's been the exact same for the last maybe 3 years now of trading. I do the same things every day. Here's 6-figure trading rules. Take 1 to 3 trades only per day. Here's the reason why. How many times have you caught yourself taking trades for absolutely no reason? You are just pressing buy, sell, and you don't have any like actual reasoning behind the trades that you're taking. You're just kind of combusting. Like you're just like, okay, I gotta take this, and you start to spiral, right? And I'm sure that you relate to this. One of the biggest reasons that you are failing is that over trading like sensation that you want to put yourself in. So limit yourself to 1 to 3 trades per day. You shouldn't be taking any more than that. Now, not only are people taking too many trades, but there's a really good chance that if you are still struggling as a trader, that you are spending way too much time on the charts. In fact, I have mentorship students that quite literally are still on the charts at like 4 or 5 hours into market open. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God. You got to think about how draining it is to get out of a 9 to 5 to want to trade, and then you sit there for 8 hours trading. I mean, you're just literally replicating a 9 to 5. So if you are doing this for the freedom, do it for the freedom, right? Limit the amount of times that you're on the chart, because for me personally, after 2 hours of being on the charts, my brain is fried. Only the first 2 hours of market open am I allowed to actually take trades. I avoid taking trades after that because it tends to be the biggest reason why I blow myself up. You keep trading, you keep looking for setups, and then you start justifying like garbage looking moves, and then you wonder why you're not successful. I only risk 5% maximum of my account per day. Now, risk is not the same thing as money used. Okay. A lot of times people are going to say like, oh, I risk 5%, but they're really just talking about the amount of money that they're actually putting into their account. So let's say that you have 20K in your account, right? The maximum that me as a trader personally that I'm willing to risk is going to be $1,000 on the day. This is because I have an aggressive risk. The reason why is I've been doing this for a very long time, 1, but 2, I can also handle the risk, right? I'm able to put that risk on because I've been doing this for a while. So let's say, God forbid, I have a massive losing day, I can just replenish the account, right? I've been doing this for long enough that I have those reserves built. So for me, I'm able to risk 5% per day. But let's say that you struggle to even take a good setup in the first place. Well, then you should be risking 2% of your account max per day, right? You shouldn't be going up to 5% per day if you are struggling to even take a green trade, right? Like you have to make sure that you're able to take consistent trades at whatever size that you're at. What I always do is I always start at like 2% and then increase my risk as time goes on. For me, I'm max risking 5% of my account per day, and that is it. If I lose 5%, if I'm down 1,000 on the day, let's say, if I have a 20K account, I will be done for the day. Done. I'm not trading anymore. I don't care to trade anymore. Turn off my computer and enjoy the rest of my day. So to further reinforce this first rule, we need to make sure that we are only taking the top setups. So I'm going to show you right after we finish these rules, I'm going to show you my trading strategy. And so like my A+ setup, my setup that I look for every single day, I'm going to kind of just break that down for you. You're going to see everything from start to finish. So I want to only be taking the top setups. If I'm going to be taking only 1 to 3 trades per day, I have to make sure that these trades are going to be the highest quality possible so that I'm not sitting there taking garbage trades and limiting myself on, how much I'm able to make. And the last rule that you have to do, you just have to do it. Journal daily. I don't care if you think you're an amazing trader, you need to be journaling every day. And for just to tell you guys, if you need a really good journal, TradeZella is number one. I'm not sponsored by them. I wish I was. Umar, if you're watching this, let me know. Bottom line, you need to be extra focused on discipline, right? All these things here, all these six-figure trading rules are based on discipline. If you're not able to be disciplined, well, then you are basically signing yourself up for failure. So the trading setup that I look for every single day, right? This is really important as well. Not necessarily as important as like the rules and the psychology, which psychology is going to come after this. After I'm done talking about the actual setup, we're going to talk about psychology and kind of break that down as well. That way you have the full guide of everything, right? How to stop yourself from blowing money, how to actually make money as a trader. So here's the exact trading strategy that I am looking for every single day, right? It's called the order block strategy. I trade the same thing every day. I'm not able to make this any more simple for you guys, right? So first things first, guys, we want to look for large amounts of liquidity. Now, what are we talking about when we say large amounts of liquidity? Well, think about it like supply and demand. Just think about it that way. We have these massive moves that are pushing all this volume down, right? So we end up dropping from all the way down to 553. So that's a $4 drop on that move. So what is most likely going to happen if we come back up to this? Well, think about it. We had a $4 drop here, which means that there's probably going to be some people who weren't able to get into this move. So what ends up happening is they have money that's left over on their orders and they don't end up getting filled. So this creates a block of orders, hence the reason why we call it an order block. And once this price comes back up into this order block, typically you are going to see a reversal from that point. So here's how this order block strategy is actually set up. And I want to show you how to set up order blocks so that way you can start to get an understanding of them. And then I'll link a whole video after this that goes over the whole order block strategy as well, even more in depth, just in case you feel like you didn't get it here. So I always choose the 15-minute or the 1 hour time frame to draw order blocks. The higher you go up, the more accurate. But this is just going to be the 15-minute, right? Now, on the 15-minute, we're going to find the candle right before that massive swing. So as you can see, we had that $4 swing, right? This is the candle before that massive swing. It's usually going to be in the opposite direction. Almost 99% of the time, I want to find the opposite direction candle. So this is going to be green right before the massive move. Now, I want to include all of these sellers because as you know, most likely, if you're watching this, this wick here means that we have a lot of sellers, right? These are sellers pushing this stock down. And if you didn't know that, well, just think of it this way intuitively. What is happening right here? This candle has pushed all the way up, right? All the way up. And then we've pushed all the way back down to close here. So who is in control on this candle? Well, sellers, right? They're the ones who push this all the way back down. And so this is how we can start to kind of create this order block as we can use the sellers. So use the sellers on this side, bottom of the candle to the top of the wick, and you can extend that all the way out. This goes the same for the upside as well, right? So we have this massive move here. I believe this is also a $4 move. You can go ahead and have your order block be this red candle that's opposite of that big move. So you see we have this big move here, red candle. We're going to include the buyers because we want to make sure that since this is a bullish order block, we want to include the buyers because bullish equals buy, right? So we're going to grab the top of the candle, bottom of this wick, and we're going to go ahead and extend that out. And as you can see, each time we've had a reaction at the order block, we've continued to make a move. Now, I always just say order block is order block. You know, that's what people call it. I say it's glorified supply and demand. Like I'm be 100% real with you guys. Like I trade this strategy and yes, it's an ICT concept, but like it's supply and demand. I'll be real with you guys. All of ICT and all of these strategies that have different names and all that, I promise you they are just recycling the same names that we've used for different strategies, just to make it that they try to make it like a unique thing for themselves. I don't care about that one bit. As you can see, we've got ourselves 2 order blocks on this chart. Like I said, I will leave a video at the end of this. And if you do want a full live trading of me trading with order blocks, let me know. I can just like upload a video of me live trading. That way you can watch the whole thing and get an understanding of these trades live. So let's go to the 5-minute now. This is how I usually find my entries. The first thing I want to look for is a test of this order block. Once we get a test of the order block, we want to see what the reaction looks like. Reaction, reaction, reaction. That is the most important. Yes, you can consider me a supply and demand / order block trader, but for me personally, guys, I am a price action based trader. Everything I do is based on price action. You're going to see exactly why. Because when we come up to this order block, the one thing I'm the most interested in is what is price doing once we get up there, right? So even if we look at, for example, the 2 minute, let's pay attention to what price is doing when we get to the order block. As you can see, we have a massive rejection as soon as we touch it. So we touch it, and as you can see, this order block right here is very valid. We have a huge rejection off that order block. So based on this 5 minute, there's a few things that you can do, right? We have this massive reaction here. So this gives us the opportunity for a short position as soon as we break these lows. This is a risky entry. You can take this entry, and this is still a very successful entry, and you would just target the next order block, and your stop loss would be based on these highs here, right? So this comes out to a 3.57 to 1 risk to reward trade. As you can see, it works itself out. You can do all the back testing you want. I'm not going to do that in this video personally, but as you can see, this is a profitable strategy no matter which way you try to spin it. But for me personally, right, my entries aren't usually based on just the order block itself. It's based on price action. So for me, if we get this change of character and we start to break trend to the downside, so as you can see right here, we got a horizontal line that I can put. If we break this pre-market low, relative low area, we are then going to start looking for downside move. Why is that? Well, take a look at market structure, right? We move like this. But if we come down and break that low, we're probably going to continue to the downside because we've already broken structure and we're looking to make that flip. So this is what we get here. We break that move. If we wait for a pullback, as you can see, pullback comes in the next candle, and we enter off that pullback on the candle after that, you can set your stop loss above that previous candle wick there, and you can put your target down to the order block below. This is a very safe entry, and I tend to be a very safe trader. All the positions I take are safe, and they make a lot of money, but they're not obviously going to be like those banger 700, 1000% positions. I like to place myself in the first hour of market open, take a trade, be done for the day every single day. And I repeat the same system every day. It's so for me, I just like to make it super, super simple and easy. And I don't want to sit here and trade for, 57 hours. I don't want to sit here and take 15 trades. I take one trade just like this, order block, boom, 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 and then we call it a day. Same thing here. I believe I actually took this trade yesterday. If I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I'm calling it audible right now. I believe I took this trade yesterday. This was it right here. Yeah. So we came down into that order block. And remember, we just pay attention to price action. So as you can see, we come down into this order block. We fail to go lower, right? We have this big buy side wick. Once we pop out of that order block and we break highs, that's all the proof I need that we're most likely going to continue. So I put my stops below the previous candle low, which was right there, and we let this trade fly. And as you can see, it's a very, very successful trade. I personally don't remember when I exited this. I believe I exited right around this area up here. And so I ended up catching a 3-to-1 risk to reward trade. This is a banger. So all you have to do every single day is trade with this strategy. It's insanely simple. It's just going to be a matter of you actually learning the strategy. So after this video, I will link a video for you on the screen, and you could just click it and it'll take you to the order block strategy in its entirety. It's a very good video. All right, so obviously a strategy is important, but this right here is the most important thing that you need in your entire life when it comes to your trading. I promise you, if you don't have a 100% built-in trading psychology rule set or built-in trading psychology understanding, you will fail no matter what. So this right here is the 100x, the most important thing that you need to have. So watch this entire thing and just draw out exactly what I'm going to draw out for you, because God, it's so important. If you can't figure this out, if you can't actually lock in on this, you will fail no matter what strategy you're using. It doesn't matter if it's a 100% win rate strategy, you most likely suck anyways. So I just realized my camera has been tilted this entire time, but we're going to start off with psychology, right? Here's going to be your core discipline, the things that you do every single day, right? This is going to be extremely important. But this is going to break into a couple different pieces of discipline, right? Like your setup. This is going to break into your emotions. This is going to break into your trade management. And this is going to break into your sizing. These are the 4 things that you need to have absolutely locked in to be a successful trader in the long run. This is the things that I've worked on, and I've spent tens of thousands of dollars into my trading education with different mentors, and I've learned a lot about my trading psychology based on this. Now, core psychology and core discipline is going to come down to what you're doing on a daily basis, right? Daily discipline, daily core psychology. These are going to be the things that you do every single day that help you throughout your trading. So, for example, your pre-market routine, right? What do you do on a pre-market routine? Second, what you eat in a day. If you're working out, right? Like lifting, these are all things that are going to keep you on your discipline. And one thing you're going to think is, Sean, this is so stupid. This isn't important at all. Why do I need to know this? Well, this is so real. Like if you are not able to be disciplined throughout your day, well, then you are going to bomb yourself in the long run and you're not going to be successful. Okay, so let's be disciplined throughout our day first. That's the core discipline. You have to have this done. I promise you, if you don't have a pre-market system, you don't have like a daily, check-in or a daily pre-market routine, or like you don't go for a walk or, journal in the morning, all these things are very important. If you don't do any of them and you just like get on the charts and trade, you're signing yourself up for failure, right? Now, what you're eating, your diet, your lifting, that's all very important as well. It's just going to be daily, like, core psychology and all that. Now, sizing we talked about in our rules, right? If you are like, struggling, you are most likely just too heavy. Okay. You most likely have way too much money in your position. So when it comes to your psychology, a lot of your psychology can be fixed by just limiting the amount of size that you're using. Okay. The way that I want you to build your sizing over time is like a stair step. I stole this directly from Umar Ashraf. Do not think that I came up with this concept, but he came up with something called stair step method of scaling. He probably didn't come up with it. He probably stole it too. The way that I scaled as a trader was I started by risking, $100 on my positions. Once I got comfortable with $100 for at least a month of trading, I'm talking a month of consistent trading. This is what a lot of people try to do. They try to skip the process of going, okay, I have negative 100 as my risk. Now, you know what? I'm successful. Let's risk 10,000, right? And then what ends up happening? They end up losing the 10,000 almost every single time. And I know a lot of you watching this are like, damn, I've kind of gone through that. Well, right, we're going to go from risking $100 to risking $300. Okay. Once you're successful on that for a month and you're just like, profitable the entire time, we're going to go risking $500. And then we're going to build that over time to be able to risk, 1K or whatever you're able to risk. You're going to build that over time in a stair step. What happens is if you're not successful, if you start to fail at this 1K, you're going to then just go back and repeat the same cycle. Go back and then keep going. And so this builds you as a stair step over time. So that way you're not just going to start off by being way too heavy in these positions. I want you to just size light and build yourself up and like give yourself a month. Give yourself a month for every single size that you're using. Promise you that's going to help you a million times more than you think it is. Next, we got to talk about our setup. If you're struggling as a trader because of your psychology, you don't know how to make money, you're failing every single day, guess what? You're probably not taking A+ setups only. So I want you to focus on creating yourself a rule set or a playbook, right? So playbook. Hold on. Let me write this. So I want you to create a playbook that has every single rule that you need for a position to be hit. So for example, for me, I trade order blocks. So what do I need? Well, I'm going to need an order block test. I'm going to need a price action confirmation, price action confirmation. Preferably, I'm going to be in trend. And I'm going to want to have a, one other confluence. So for example, maybe an EMA or VWAP or something along those lines that kind of gives us more of an understanding of this is most likely going to go our way. If I get all 4 of these things, then I'm allowed to take the trade. A lot of you guys, I can guarantee a lot of you are just taking trades and you're just kind of like, buy, sell. I don't really know what's going on. Create this playbook. Have an understanding of every single rule that you are going to have. Next is going to be your trade management. A lot of people are getting stopped out too early. I'm sure that a lot of you have probably related to this as well. Like, you're getting stopped out too early. You're cutting your positions too late in the red. You're cutting your positions too late in the green. You're doing all these like really stupid things that you know you shouldn't be doing. And so we're going to kind of fix that right now, especially with stop losses. So number one, right? Let's say that we've got ourselves an order block here. We're breaking out of this order block. We're looking to continue to the upside, right? We think this is going to be an amazing move right here. And so we enter ourselves a buy position right at this area. You've got to realize one thing, guys. Your stop loss needs to be at a place of invalidation. If you don't have your stop loss in a place of invalidation, I've seen this so many times where people place their stop losses right here at the top of an order block, and they'll realize that like it stops them out and then goes their way. And it's like, well, yeah, of course, you know, you didn't place it at a place of invalidation. So where are we going to feel invalidated? We're going to feel invalidated when we get below this order block, right? So my stop loss is going to be here. If we make this break all the way through this order block and we start to like make this retest, dude, we're going to the other side, right? We're going to the other direction. So place your stop losses in a place of invalidation and legitimately hold your position until it gets to that place of invalidation. This is the biggest thing that I've realized that has stopped a lot of people from being successful is they have their place of their place of invalidation. They're like, all right, here's my stop loss right here, right? And then what they'll do is they'll be like, red candle, oh God, I'm out. And then it goes their way right after. And they're like, oh man, I should have just held the position. Well, this is your wake up call right now, right? You need to have your place of, first off, have your stop loss in a place of invalidation. And second, hold your position no matter what, right? This is the biggest thing that you need to do. Hold your position to your stop loss. What does invalidation mean, right? The first part of it is in. So if we have not hit that point of invalidation, well, then what is your position? It's valid, right? Like your position's valid. So hold it. Stay in that position as long as you possibly can before it hits that point of invalidation. Don't start making stupid decisions. And that's how you actually focus on taking your entries and not, letting yourself get the best of yourself. As long as you have all of these concepts together, it's going to be just absolutely amazing and you are going to scale your trading, I guarantee it. The last and probably the most important is going to be emotions, right? Trading is a game of survival, and a lot of you are not playing the game to survive. You're playing the game to make money. So stop focusing on making money, okay? If you are trading with emotions, the biggest reason why you're doing that is because you want to make more and more money because of whatever reason, right? Let's say you've got people in the hospital or whatever that you're trying to take care of. You want to take care of your family. I completely understand that. But coming from a point of like, I need this money, I have to make this money, is going to choose you to make rash decisions that aren't smart. Okay, so to make sure that you have your emotions dialed in, I want you to ask yourself questions before every single trade that you take, right? I want you to ask yourself this: is this following my overall trade management? Does it have a good stop loss? Does it have a good risk to reward? Ask yourself, are you too heavy? Have you sized properly in this trade? Ask yourself, is this a 100% A+ setup? And of course, ask yourself, am I disciplined? Did I stay disciplined throughout my day the day before, right? All four of those questions, and as you can see, this all beautifully comes together in one big map. All four of those questions are going to help you scale yourself as a trader, and I can guarantee it. So ask yourself those 4 questions before you take a trade every single day, and you will see your trading absolutely improve 10x, 20x over the next 3 months or 4 months or whatever. Just listen to this advice. It's going to change your life, and I can almost guarantee it. And that is everything that you need to get to at least $10,000 per month as a day trader, from strategy to emotions to literally everything from start to finish. So if you did watch this video and you feel like, man, this was amazing, but I really need that extra step, that extra help to get to $10,000, $20,000 per month as a day trader, I do have a one-on-one mentorship platform. No, it's not a course. It is a full one-on-one mentorship. So you're working with me directly every single day, trading with me live every single day. So if that's something that you want and you want to actually genuinely scale and stop feeling like, you're failing or feeling like, you're taking too long to get there, well, I've helped a lot of people, just like all these people that you're seeing on the screen right now. So if this is something you're interested, first link in the description is going to look just like this. Click it, apply for the program, and I hope to see you inside. This was a long one. I hope you enjoyed it. Go watch that order block video that I talked about before, because it's going to explain my entire strategy from start to finish, and it's probably something that you need. I would almost guarantee it. So With that being said, I'll see you guys all next week. Adios, everybody. Goodbye. Later.